I'm Rachel, and today I have my April plan with me, so let's just get into it. So for my bullet journal theme in April, I decided to do a theme of pigeons because I was walking around in Manhattan and I saw a bunch of pigeons and I was talking to my dad and we thought it would be a cool theme. Right here you can see me testing some fine liners and just thin markers that I was thinking about using, and thinking back, I really should next time flip over the page and see how they look on the other side, because I didn't realize that some of these pens, or one of them at least that I ended up using, did bleed through the page a little, so definitely lesson learned there. As you can see, I sketched out these rectangles for the cover page of this month, and it's supposed to look like a fire escape. So I did like lines, like triangles, I guess, or like diagonal lines that are supposed to be like the stairs. It'll be easier to see once I color it in, but it's not that hard. I did make a few mistakes when I was drawing the lines, so I used my white gel pen, which is the Uniball Sigmo pen, to fix it up, and I really like this pen. It really helps with any little mistakes that you have. The pen I'm using right now is the Pilot Razor Point, and honestly I think that this is my parents' pen, but I really like it. It's like pretty thin, and it definitely worked better than the other pen I used, which is the one that I'm currently using, you can see on screen, because this one didn't bleed through. So for the stairs, every time there was like a line of dots in like the dot grid, I would just draw a small line, and it made it look like really even and a nice staircase, I think. And to make it look like a fence, I just added a lot of little like strokes. It was like kind of satisfying to make. It was nice. But the pen that I'm using right now is the Sakura Microperm in the size 01, and I don't recommend this pen for your bullet journal because, as you see when I just flipped over the page, you can see this pen on the other side. It really bled through, which is disappointing because I know my notebook is really thick, so I really wasn't expecting anything like that to happen. I definitely have to make sure to always turn over my pages and make sure it didn't bleed through, even if you have a really thick notebook. So on this side of the page, I just drew silhouette pigeons, and I did continue using the pen that didn't bleed through, which was the Pilot Razor Point, because obviously I didn't want it to bleed through. And now I took a piece of paper, which is actually like this Japanese piece of paper. I'm not really sure where you would get it. I was at this like origami convention kind of thing with my mom, and they had like these pieces of paper where you just get a pack and it gives you like so many different kinds of paper, which is the paper that's behind my bullet journal right now and the papers that I'm using in general throughout this bullet journal. So probably somewhere like Kinokura, you could probably get it. I'm not really sure, probably somewhere in Japan. So now I'm just writing April in cursive and fake calligraphy with this pen I've used before in my bullet journal. It is the Pental Sign Pen, and I really like it. It's pretty standard, really nice. Yeah. Also, that pigeon on the side is actually a pin. I used it as a push pin for this because I'm actually on a real cork board. I just put it on my table to film, and it's from Enamel Pin, and I love it so much. It like fit this theme so well, and I'm so glad like I found it. I'm not really sure where I got it from, probably somewhere in Brooklyn because that's what it says on it, but yeah. So I cut out the April I wrote on the other piece of paper, and I just glued it onto the middle of the like fire escape sort of thing. And I ended up using the bottom of like a pot, like the other piece of a pot, to draw a circle on this other piece of paper, which I thought was really, really cool. It's like kind of like waffled, or just like you know, it's like grid paper, but it's like an actual grid, like there's pieces in between. And it was a little bit hard to cut, but it wasn't that hard, and I kind of went for more of a scrapbooky feel in this theme, and I really liked it. On this other piece of paper, I wrote my quote. Also, please tell me what kind of things you want me to say in these, like, voiceovers, I guess, because I'm not really sure what to say. I know that Amanda Rachel in her last video, she did it more podcast style, and she did tell a lot of information about, you know, Asian hate and her experience being Asian, and I think that was like, I really liked it, but I'm not really sure if I should just keep describing what is happening on screen. I mean, that's what I've been doing. Also just saying, I guess, my thoughts on how my bullet journal is turning out and my experience with using it, tips I have, I guess. I don't know, last month it turned out really, really long, and I'm not sure if this one's going to be long or short. And yes, you did just see Amanda Rachel pop in just in time. Wow, it timed so well. I like to watch YouTube videos while I'm bullet journaling, so I was watching one of her videos, or actually her April plan with me, while I was doing this bullet journal. It like had just come out, and I feel like I should watch it over because I was mainly just listening, but it was really nice as a podcast. Also, speaking of podcasts, go check out the Girls Worldwide podcast, which was started by someone I know named Sophia, and it's really nice, and I love to listen to them when I'm doing random things. Finally, I finished that quote, and it looks like I used the same Pilot Razor Point pen, which seems to be my go-to throughout this spread, and the quote says, "Pigeons, they have wings, but they walk a lot." And I just glued it down along with that circle made out of the, I'm just going to call it a waffle paper. I'm not really sure what you would call it, but I just glued those two down. I thought that this circle kind of looked like a sun, or like the sun was setting. I don't know. I just thought it looked cool. Tell me your thoughts down below. And if you know where to get paper like this, definitely leave it in the comments down below, because I'm not really sure where else you could get the paper, but yeah, I'm sorry. So I used another type of paper which kind of had like metallic and like gold stuff on top, and made it look kind of like washi tape to like tape over the quote. And I added some birds. They're supposed to be pigeons, but they kind of look like seagulls or something, or like geese, because I don't know if pigeons flock like that. Anyway, I also drew a pigeon on the side, which I used some Crayola Supertips to color it in, and I'm pretty sure I used my Pental Sign Pen to draw the pigeon. The fun thing about drawing pigeons is you can really draw them however you want, because pigeons have like all different types of patterns, and I really referenced the pin on the side for the shape of the pigeon because they're a little complicated to draw. So I took a big thought about what I could do with this page, since as you can see it bled through a lot. Didn't bleed as much as mostly ghosting. It did bleed a little bit, but this is a problem that I really face a lot when I use the Lukrembo 1917 notebook, which is why I started using this notebook that has a lot thicker pages. But I ended up going with using some of the Japanese paper on the left side and putting that as events, and then making a tiny calendar on the right. And I think that this worked really well for me, because if you follow my Instagram, you know that I always talk about how like I barely use my calendar, but I know I should use it more. So I think that probably by like making the calendar smaller. It'll take up less space because I might not use it as much, but I've been trying to use it in general, and I do have a few events in it right now, so that's progress. I used a Crayola Supertip for the border of the calendar, and I made them each 3 dot grid spaces apart. If you saw my calculator of my phone on the side, that's what it was for, to calculate how big I can make the dots. And although it may seem like I used the same pen that was having problems with the bleeding and just like, you know, adding too much ink, I didn't. It's a different pen. It is the Pigma Micron 005. I really like to use Pigma Microns in my bullet journal and just in general for like doodling. This one I don't like as much as the one that I used last month, which was a lot thicker, because this one I feel like I have to be very careful to make sure not to like break the tip, and it's just very delicate. But I definitely really like these pens. As you can see, once again I'm sketching out a pigeon, and I'm also using the pin as reference for this one too. And I'm just making this one, it's a lot lighter, and I just added a little bit of gray in it. But yeah, it's basically like, you can really just change the patterns of however you want your pigeon to look. Now I just wrote April out in fake calligraphy once again with my Pental Sign Pen. Sorry that my face keeps popping in here. I'll try better next time to not get under the camera. Now I'm using my Tombow brush pen in the color 090 to add a little bit of accents, because I really like this pen and I just want to use it somewhere because I wanted my theme to be yellow, as well as like the papers were also yellow. And I also used this pen before in my November plan with me, so if you want, you can go check out that video. So now I just went ahead and glued in this fancy piece of paper that has some like metallic accents in it. I'm not sure how it is, but I wrote events at the top and then numbered the calendar on the right so that it's numbered, and I wrote that in the really small Pigma Micron 005. The calendar is not a perfect rectangle this month. I just made it kind of by accident and then just numbered it correctly. Now onto my habit tracker. This habit tracker also includes my mood tracker. It's not something separate, but like inside of one of the boxes I just put my mood, because I put some circles at the bottom that are like moods, but it's like how well I did something. So if I did really well with filming and doing work on my YouTube channel, I'd get a big happy face there. I'm just drawing a small taxi in the corner using the same Tombow brush pen in the color 090, and I'm writing taxi on top, as well as I'm drawing a little pigeon on the side because, you know, I have to keep that theme in there. Oops, I actually forgot I drew 3 pigeons on top of the taxi, or 2 pigeons on the taxi, 1 flying away, but also a big props to Lukrembo. I say this in so many videos, but I clicked on one of his recent musics and it was called Butter, and it worked so perfectly for this theme because at the beginning and the end of the song you can hear birds. What a coincidence. I just happened to click on it and use it. I honestly don't go through that much time looking for which one I like, because whatever video I choose, it's pretty much like guaranteed to be good. I keep rambling, I'm so sorry. Please tell me in the comments down below if I'm talking too much and you just want to see more bullet journaling. But I wrote brain dump in the bottom right corner, in fake calligraphy, and I just used the same Tombow dough brush pen to outline around it and drew a few flowers on the edges, which there's going to be a video coming out that includes those flowers. Ooh. Now on to the first weekly spread of this month. As you saw last month, I was experimenting a lot with the kind of weekly spreads that I wanted to use since my schedule for school had changed. But I really found one that I really like, which I basically just put a line down the middle of my page and use it as kind of like a rolling to-do list. But I make a little like line across that says the day of the week. But since this week I have break, I decided to put goals on the top left, and I'll have like a few tasks that I have to complete, which might or might not be videos that are coming out, and I can fill in the percentage of the circle is the percentage of it I've completed so far. I also thought that it was cute that I made the line down the middle bird tracks, I guess it would be called. Wow, it is time for the final flip through. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. It would mean the world to me if you were to like this video and consider subscribing. I make a lot of other bullet journal videos. I love to make short films, photography, and there are so many other videos coming soon, so you don't want to miss it. Definitely turn on the notification bell. So you can go check out some other videos. I'll leave the playlist of my other Plan With Me videos up in the right-hand corner, and definitely go check them out if you haven't already. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!